Welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Sciences, SOS, Master of Science, Zoology, MSc Semester 2, MZOE 002 Animal Behavior and Animal Welfare Ethics. Block 1 Introduction to Animal Behavior, Concept and Evolution. Unit 4 Learning and Cognitive Behaviors, 4.1 Introduction. Most animal behaviors are broadly categorized into instinctive and learned behaviors. In the last unit, you learned about the concept and importance of instinctive and inbuilt animal behavior. These behavioral responses are indispensable for the survival of the individual and even the populations. Instinctive responses are inherited by an animal and are presented when for the first time it gets exposed to the stimulus. They are almost uniform across all the individuals of a species and follow a set pattern. This unit will establish the concept of learned behaviors and its various types. Learning ability and behavior can be unique to an individual, and within a population all type of variation can be seen. This unit will dwell into different types of learned behaviors and various experiments done on animals to understand these behaviors. The unit will explain simple habituation to complex conditioning mechanism. This will also show influence of social environment on animals, including human learning process. In the next unit, you will learn about behavior homeostasis and hormonal regulation of behaviors. Objectives. After studying this unit, you should be able to explain learned behaviors, its types and subtypes. Describe the difference between instinctive behavior and learned behavior. Define simple learning behavior like habituation and imprinting. Explain complex learning behaviors like conditioning, cognitive behavior. Describe various experiments and its inference related to simple and complex learning mechanism. Define aspects of latent learning and define concept and impact of social learning. 4.2 Learned behavior. The most widespread and easily identifiable behavior in human is their ability to learn. From a simple act of leaning to walk, speak, to crack complex mathematical problem, all represent some or other form of learning. Besides humans, many animals exhibit learned behavior, which help them in their survival and evolution. In terms of animal behavior, what do we understand about learned behavior? Leaning is the mechanism of obtaining more or less lasting behavioral changes via experience. This kind of behavior requires prior exposure and experience. Learning and memory go together, since changed behavior due to experience cannot be used unless stored and recalled when needed. Unlike instinctive behaviors, which are almost similar in all the members of species, learned behaviors can be unique in a particular animal. And there can be variation in capacity to learn a skill among the members of same species. Also, learned behavior in animals are not inherited but are acquired during their lifetime. Thorpe defines learning as that process which manifests itself as adaptive changes in individual behavior as a result of experience. 4.3 Types of learning. A. Simple learning. This type of learned behavior sometimes has influence of innate mechanism and helps organism to survive and adapt to the present environment. Simple learning is based on previous experiences and modification of behavior according to it. Subtypes of simple learning are imprinting and habituation. B. Complex learning. It is the type of learning behavior which can be described with the stimulus and response of animal to that stimulus. It involves amalgamation of skill, knowledge, experience and training by animal in response to a stimulus situation. This displays problem-solving capability of a particular animal. 4.4 Imprinting. Imprinting is the early practical experience in life that determines the social imprints, attitudes and behavior of biological organisms in their later part of life. It is time period sensitive learning that is limited to specific time period in an animal's life. It is phase specific, has a critical period and initially thought to B. Irreversible, still doubtful. The type of response to mother figure is usually called as filial imprinting, and sexual imprinting is the effect of early experiences of an animal in choosing sexual partner later in life. 4.4.1 Konrad Lorenz experiment. This learned behavior was recognized and named by famous ethologist Konrad Lorenz. Konrad Lorenz was studying mother-chick interaction in grey lag geese. He collected eggs from single mother and separated it in two boxes. Eggs from box 1 were kept with mother goose and were hatched in front of her, Fig. 4.1, and eggs from box 2 were hatched in front of Mother Konrad himself, Fig. 4.2. The chicks from each group started following their respective mothers everywhere they went. This phenomenon of chicks learning to recognize first moving animal, object as their mother is termed as imprinting by Konrad Lorenz. Look at the screen. Fig. 4. 1. Imprinting goslings following mother goose. The mother hatchling bonding that is seen soon after birth is very important for the well-being and survival of the hatchling. This helps hatchling to get care from mother goose and also to learn from her species-specific skills. Fig. 4.2. Imprinting goslings following mother human on which they have wrongly imprinted. The sensitive period can be experimentally manipulated to imprint on wrong mother as done by Konrad Lorenz. 4.5 Habituation. When an organism faces harmless stimulus repeatedly, it learns to ignore that stimulus over the period of time. If a stimulus is repeated several times without any significant accompaniment, an animal gradually ceases to respond. From being initially sensitive, they calm down and ignore the stimulus. The learning not to respond to a harmless repetitive stimulus is called habituation. This helps in conservation of energy that would have been lost if animal responded to harmless stimuli. 4.5.1 Examples of habituation. Examples of habituation can be seen everywhere. 1. For example, a family shifts to a new house, which is close to railway track. When for the first time they hear train approaching, they will be startled. But over a period of time the sound of train becomes part of their life and they will not respond to it as they did the first time when they heard it. 2. Another example includes when a human being tries to pet a stray puppy. Initially the puppy will be scared of human. But if the person repeatedly tries, the puppy will learn that this person is not dangerous and will allow that person to pet it. 3. In a field, when new scarecrow is implanted, all birds are afraid of it. But after some time, they realize it is harmless and start to feed on the grains. Fig. 4.3. Look at the screen. Fig. 4.3. Habituation of birds with scarecrow. A. Birds in the field moving freely. B. Birds scared of the scarecrow. C. Birds habituated with scarecrow. 4.5.2 Habituation. Disadvantages. Wild animals, especially living in national parks, faces disadvantage of habituation. Wild animals, due to high ecotourism in ecological preserved sites, become used to passing vehicles. Most national parks and wildlife sanctuary are fragmented habitats with very close proximity to human. Most of them have roads, highways and train tracks passing through them. Wild animals with no fear of vehicles or trains many times become victims of accidents. Nobel Prize-winning Russian physiologist Ivan P. Pavlov first demonstrated this type of learning. Pavlov was working on dogs' digestive enzymes. While studying digestive enzymes in saliva, he attached a cannula through the cheek of the dog and redirected the saliva into it. When the dog was presented with food, it would salivate and saliva was collected in the cannula and measured. Over few experiments, Pavlov realized dogs began to salivate in anticipation of food just by looking at the technician who fed that dog. This started to fill the cannula even without the actual presence of food. To prove this observation, Pavlov repeated it by giving food with the sound of metronome and then getting salivation from dog by just the sound of metronome. He used various other stimuli like sound of bell, light bulb and coupled with food and repeated the experiment. He got the same result with every neutral stimulus that he coupled with the food. Later he started giving dogs only food, without any coupled stimulus. After few days dogs stopped salivating to the coupled stimulus, sound of metronome, sound of bell etc. They now salivated only at the presence of food. From these findings Pavlov concluded that dogs associated the surrounding stimulus present in the environment with the food and this led to saliva production only for the surrounding stimulus. Pavlov named this conditioning, which is now known as classical conditioning. Fig 4.4, Classical Conditioning, Pavlov Conditioning. Look at the screen. 1. Unconditioned response, salivation, towards food. 2. Acquisition, creating association between sound of bell and food. 3. Conditioned response, salivation, toward bell. 4.7.1 Components of classical conditioning. Unconditioned stimulus, the stimulus, which will naturally produce a response. Now if we consider Pavlov experiment, unconditioned stimulus is represented by food, Fig. 4.5. Unconditioned response, the response produced for unconditioned stimulus is unconditioned response. Every time dog sees or eats food, it salivates, which in this case is unconditioned response, Fig. 4.6. Neutral stimulus. Sound of bell is initially a neutral stimulus, Fig. 4.7. With respect to dog salivation, dogs normally do not produce saliva in response to only ringing a bell. Conditioned stimulus, once the animal associates a neutral stimulus with unconditioned stimulus, it will start giving same response to neutral stimulus as it gave to unconditioned stimulus. Now when bell is rung, along with the sight of the food, after a period of time dog will salivate for just the sound of the bell also. At this time point, sound of bell is conditioned stimulus. Conditioned response, response given by animal towards conditioned stimulus. The saliva produced in response to sound of bell is conditioned response. 4.7.2 Acquisition. The stage in the conditioning process when dog learns to respond for conditioned stimulus is called acquisition. This is the time when dog learns to associate food with conditioned stimulus like bell. 4.7.3 Extinction. When you remove the conditioned stimulus and give only unconditioned stimulus, the animal will show diminishing response towards conditioned stimulus. This is called extinction. In Pavlov's experiment, when he stops the ringing of bell with food, then over time dogs stopped salivating for the sound of the bell. They now only salivate for the food. 4.7.4 Spontaneous recovery. Extinction does not eliminate the learned behavior completely. Sometime conditioned response reappears after a period of rest. This is called spontaneous recovery. It is usually weaker than the original conditioned response. 4.8 Operant conditioning, instrumental conditioning. This is the type of learning where consequence of a behavior define whether it will be performed by an animal or not. Animal learns to operate in an environment and behave to either get a reward or to avoid punishment. 4.8.1 The law of effect. This principle was first introduced in 1898 by Edward Thorndike, which became foundation for behavioral conditioning. This psychology principle says that the responses which produce desirable results in a given situation will be repeated by an organism, and on the other hand responses that lead to undesirable or uncomfortable results will be avoided by animal. B.F. Skinner worked extensively with rats and studied behaviorism. He made a box with various setups to test the law of effects on rats. He analyzed the results and termed the learned behavior as operant conditioning. 4.8.2 Components of Skinner box. The Skinner box, also known as operant condition chamber, is made up of following components. 1. A rectangular, properly aired rat cage. 2. Electrified grid at the base. 3. Food pellet dispenser on the wall. 4. Response lever. 5. Red and green lights. 6. Speaker. The Skinner's box is used to subject model animal, rats, to various stimuli and record their responses. Based off experiments, Skinner identified 3 categories of responses. Neutral operants, the condition from the environment, which will neither increase nor decrease a behavioral response of an animal. Reinforcer, the conditions, which either lead to presentation or removal of a stimulus that causes increased repetition of the behavior. Punisher, the conditions, which either lead to presentation or removal of a stimulus that decrease or sometime completely eliminate behavioral response. 4.8.3 Skinner experiments. Experiment I. Positive reinforcement. When the rat is kept inside the Skinner's box, it will start exploring the box. During exploring the box, the rat may accidentally pull the lever and this will lead to release of food pellet inside the box. After few hits and trials, rat will learn that pulling the lever is causing the food pellet dispensing. Now it will repeatedly pull the lever to get the pellets. This behavior is termed as positive reinforcement. When a stimulus is presented after the response of animal and it increases the chances of response happening again in future, it is called positive reinforcement. In simpler terms, the stimulus can be termed as reward. In the above experiment, pulling of lever is the response from rat and the reinforcer of this behavior is dispensing of food pellets. The dispensing of food pellets encourages rat to pull the lever repeatedly and this behavior is positive reinforcement. Experiment 2. Negative reinforcement. The rat kept inside the Skinner's box is given mild electric shocks, non-dangerous, that will cause discomfort to rat. The rat will jump around the box and accidentally pull the lever in the process. The electric current will go away immediately. The rat learns quickly and next time when it will be given electric current, it will pull the lever to stop it. This behavior is termed as negative reinforcement. When an unpleasant stimulus is stopped due to the animal response, an animal will have high chances of repeating the response to avoid unpleasant stimuli. In the above experiment, electric current removal post lever pulling is the reinforcer of behavior and pulling the lever is animal's response. The stoppage of electric current on pulling the lever encourages the rat to pull the lever every time it experiences electric current and this behavior is negative reinforcement. 4.8.4 Primary and secondary reinforcement. 1. Primary reinforcement, unconditional reinforcement, produced by the reinforcer that directly influences the behavior. It occurs naturally and generally helps in the survival of the species. Example: food, air, warmth, water, etc. 2. Secondary reinforcement, produced by the reinforcer that are coupled with the primary reinforcers and indirectly influences the behavior. Example: money, you can buy food using money. 4.8.5 Reinforcement schedule. It was discovered that different pattern of reinforcement, i.e. the ways response is rewarded, will have distinct effect on learning or extinction of a behavior. The effectiveness of reinforcement depends upon 2 major factors: the response rate, the number of times rat presses the lever, which is equivalent to hard work put up by the rat. It is the speed with which a new behavior is learned. The extinction rate, the time when rat stops lever pressing, which is loss of behavioral response. It is the speed with which a learned behavior is abandoned. Based on the pattern, 2 types of reinforcement is seen. 4.8.6 Continuous reinforcement. This is the kind of reinforcement seen in the Skinner's experiment. Every time an animal shows a behavior, it's being rewarded. Example: every time rat pulls the lever, it gets a food pellet. This type of reinforcement has slow response rate and a fast extinction rate. 4.8.7 Intermittent reinforcement. In this type of reinforcement, not every behavior attempt is followed by a reward, but some among correct responses are reinforced. The schedule of reinforcement can be based on the time interval of responses or number of responses. 4 types of intermittent reinforcement schedule. 1. Fixed interval schedule. 2. Variable interval schedule. 3. Fixed ratio schedule. 4. Variable ratio schedule. 1. Fixed interval schedule. The distribution of reward is time-based and it does not matter how many responses are created within that time. Example, when rat presses lever, pellet will dispense only after 60 seconds. Even if rat presses the lever multiple times, the result will be same. After few attempts, rats learns that and will show maximum activity, pressing the lever at the end of every 60 seconds. 2. Variable interval schedule. Among multiple responses, if one correct response is present, animal will be reinforced after unpredictable amount of time. Example, pop quizzes given by teachers to students. Sometimes there are 3 pop quizzes in a single week and sometimes no quiz for 2 straight weeks. This encourages students to pay attention in the class and be ready for a pop quiz. This type of reinforcement has fast response rate and a slow extinction rate. 3. Fixed ratio schedule. The animal is rewarded only after fixed number of behavioral responses. Example, in Skinner's box, if rat presses lever for 5 times, it will be rewarded with food pellets. This type of reinforcement has fast response rate and a medium extinction rate. 4. Variable ratio schedule. The animal is rewarded after unpredictable number of correct behavioral responses. Example, when leopard tries to hunt its prey, some attempts will fail and one attempt will be successful. Number of failed attempts versus successful attempts will always be different every time leopard ventures for hunting. This type of reinforcement has fast response rate and a slow extinction rate. Based on Skinner's observation, continuous reinforcement has fastest extinction rate and variable ratio schedule have the slowest. 4.8.8 Punishment. The process of discouraging any undesired behavior is also achieved by penalizing. This works in contrary to reinforcement. While reinforcement increases the chances of behavior, punishment diminishes it. Punishment is an uncomfortable stimulus given after the behavior to reduce or eliminate it. 1. Positive punishment. It includes directly administering a stimulus to stop a response. Example, caning a child for being naughty. 2. Negative punishment. When a happy or desirable stimulus is stopped or taken away from animal. Example, taking away child's pocket money for being naughty. Disadvantage of punishment. 1. This might lead to unwanted side effects like aggression, fear in the recipient. 2. Instead of discouraging, sometimes it simply suppresses the behavior. The original behavior comes back as soon punisher stimulus is gone. 3. It can create fear in the mind of recipient, like fear of exam results seen in students. 4. Sometimes desired results are not obtained, animal starts showing an unpredictable response. 4.8.9 Behavior shaping. In 1951, Skinner proposed that by utilizing knowledge of operant conditioning and balancing reinforcement and punishment, extremely complex behavior can be produced in an animal. In most animals, including human, learned behavior can be shaped by encouraging desired behavior, reinforcement, and discouraging undesired behavior, punishment. 4.9 Cognitive learning. The word cognitive derived from cognition means the ability to perceive, think, remember and solve problems. The complex mechanism of obtaining knowledge, information manipulation in brain, interpretations and creation of something new utilizing that information are all part of cognitive learning. It's far more intricate compared to observation and imitation of others' behavior. It involves retention of information and experiences. Cognitive learning has following important features. 1. Comprehension, understanding how a particular information or skill set benefits the person. 2. Memory, retention and retrieval of information. 3. Application, utilizing learned skill for the development of new strategies. And problem solving. Examples: solving mathematical problems, designing and using simple and complex tools. 4.9.1 Cognitive Learning Theory. Psychologist Jean Piaget proposed this theory when he tried to explain the internal and external processes that influence learning. This theory tried to explain how human mind processes information during learning process. According to this theory, brain receives stimulus from the environment, which undergoes cognitive processing, and after that a response is generated. The cognitive process itself has several elements, such as observation, attention, perception, interpretation, categorization, organization, memory storage and retrieval of information and response based on above processes. Piaget suggested 3 components of cognitive learning. 1. Accommodation, receiving new information and its manipulation. 2. Assimilation, storage of new information in brain along with already existing information. 3. Equilibration, utilizing new and old information to achieve a balance. Decision or response. Based on above components, every intelligent animal including human has a personalized learning process. In case of human, their belief, knowledge and thought process is based on the understanding of self and interpretation of the environmental cues. 4.10 Latent leaning. The latent leaning, as explained by Tolman, is formation of cognitive maps and their utilization when the need arises. It is the subconscious retention of information without reinforcement or motivation but manifests later when a suitable motivation or situation appears. Cognitive maps are storage of external information and cues like images, landmarks, and aromas in brain in the form of mental image. Tolman and Honzak in 1930 experimented on rat to investigate latent learning. They built a maze, Fig. 4.10, and studied how rats navigate it. Fig. 4.10, Tolman maze for rats. Look at the screen. They made 3 groups of rats and studied their maze navigation skills for 17 days. Group 1, day 1 to 17, all rats were released at the start of the maze. Every time a member reaches at the end of the maze, it is rewarded with food pellets. Group 2, day 1 to 10, initially all rats were released at the start of the maze. When the member reaches at the end of the maze, it is taken out. Day 11 to 17, from 11th day, whenever the member of this group reaches end of the maze, it is given food pellets. Group 3, day 1 to 17, all rats were released at the start of the maze, and when the member reaches at the end of the maze, it is taken out. They are neither rewarded nor punished. The graph, Fig. 4.11, shows the rats without reinforcement. Group 3 will wander the maze for much longer time compared to rats with reinforcement. Group 1. This proves reinforcement is important for learning process. Look at the screen. Fig. 4.11, graph showing result of Tolman and Honzak experimental groups. However, when rats who have prior knowledge of maze, Group 2, are provided with reinforcement, they navigate the maze faster compared to rats without experience. Group 1. This displays that even without reinforcement, rats are storing important information, cognitive maps. When reinforcement is applied to such rats, they utilized this stored information to enhance their navigation skill and reach the end of the maze faster compared with inexperienced members. 4.11 Social learning. Social learning is knowledge acquisition as a result of observation and imitation of behavior of other human with the goal of adapting one's behavior in social context. It includes social interactions among humans, sharing of experiences and influence of media. 4.11.1 Social learning theory, social cognitive theory. Psychologist Albert Bandura gave this theory in 1977 as an alternative to B.F. Skinner's theory of operant behaviorism. This theory suggested that human learns behavioral skills, especially social one, by observing and emulating others' behavior. According to Bandura, there are 4 components of social learning. 1. Attention, the degree up to which a particular behavior is observed. The behavior should stand out among number of behaviors to take hold of observers' attention and to implement observational learning. 2. Retention, it is the ability of the observer to remember the behavior. The steps of behavior should be retained as memory in the brain to be imitated later. 3. Reproduction, it is the capacity to imitate the observed behavior. Depending upon physical abilities, different people are able to emulate a behavior to different extent. 4. Motivation, even though a person may have the ability to reproduce but without motivation, desire, there will be no behavioral change. Sometimes an observed behavior is repeated based on the consequences of that behavior. This couples observational learning to reinforcement. Only if the consequences are positive, the behavior is replicated. In this case, people learn indirectly through others' experiences rather than facing them themselves. 4.11.2 Albert Bandura experiments, Bobo doll experiments. Bandura and Ross tested social learning in 1961 by series of experiments, collectively called Bobo doll experiments. They tested 72 children, 36 girls, and 36 boys, aged 3 to 6 years old. They divided 72 children in 3 groups, with equal number of girls and boys. This way each group has 12 boys and 12 girls. For group 1 and 2, each group is again subdivided into batch of 6 boys and 6 girls, and they are exposed to the behavior of their respective models. Observations from each group is compared. Group 1A, female aggressive model, subject 6 girls and 6 boys. B, male aggressive model, subject 6 girls and 6 boys. Group 2A, female non-aggressive model, subject 6 girls and 6 boys. B, male non-aggressive model, subject 6 girls and 6 boys. Group 3, control. No model, subject 12 girls and 12 boys. Experiment, Stage 1. The model and subject are placed in a room with few toys, including a 3 feet Bobo doll. Group 1. In this group, subjects observed either male or female model to behave violently. These models behave aggressively towards the 3 feet toy Bobo doll. Group 2. Subjects of this group observed either male or female model to be playing quietly and nicely with toys other than Bobo doll. Group 3. These subjects were controlled and they were not subjected to any model. Experiment. Stage 2. All the children were taken to a room with lots of toys and after 10 minutes asked to leave, as experimenter told them the toys are meant for other children. This was done to anger them. Experiment, Stage 3. Children were left in room with aggressive toys, non-aggressive toys and Bobo doll for 20 minutes and their behavior was observed. Result, the subjects of group 1 who have seen aggressive model expressed stronger aggressive behavior compared to non-aggressive or control group. This experiment signified that children learn social behavior by imitating behavior of other, especially adult model around them. This also correlated media violence and its influence on children. This demonstrated that violent behavior on TV, video games, movies may modify children's behavior and can make them imitate it in real life. 4.12 Summary. In this unit you have learned that the learning is lasting behavioral changes that are combined result of experience, repeated exposure to stimulus, skills and training. There are 2 types of learned behavior: simple and complex learning. Habituation and imprinting are examples of simple learning. Habituation is learning to not to respond to harmless stimulus, and imprinting is specialized learning that happens at specific life stage, where animal learns to follow first moving object, usually their mother animal. Classical and operant conditioning are examples of complex learning. They are both associative learning, where animal associates 2 stimuli and behaves accordingly. In classical conditioning, the dog associates sound of bell with food and salivates in response to it. In case of operant conditioning, the rat associates pressing of lever with either reward, food pellet, or avoidance of bad experience, mild current. Operant conditioning explains the advantages and disadvantages of reinforcement and punishment to teach new skills. Latent learning is the knowledge acquired over the time, which comes to display only when needs arrive. Social learning displays the effect of social environment on young animals, especially young humans. It implies the role of TV, social media, and internet exposure in shaping the young brain and human society. THAMKU